Roxanne Martin from One Athlete. I'm here with Ryan Sands, who had the most incredible Cocodona experience. Ryan, first off, well done. It was phenomenal to watch. How do you feel?
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, cool to be chatting. Yeah, really chuffed with how the race went. I mean, it was incredibly tough and quite an intense experience, but yeah, just such an epic experience at the same time. And I mean, just having people like Reno there, my Salomon teammates, a lot of the staff from Salomon HQ, yeah, just made it all that special. So yeah, really happy with how it played out.
Now, if you're watching this for the first time, Ryan has just completed the Cocodona 250 in Arizona. Basically, it's a 250 miler race in one go. Ryan, I think you were just over 66 hours in total to
Yeah,
complete.
it was 61 hours, I think, just over
61.
61 hours. So
Apologies,
no,
apologies. Um, and this was the longest race that Ryan has ever undertaken. Before run, I mean, obviously running 250 miles is not something you do every day. But Ryan, did you ever? I mean, you went into the race open for more of an experience. It wasn't so much about placing. I mean, obviously you always have that podium eye in there, but I
yes.
mean coming second in your first race, I mean, leading for part of the race, w- uh, was it part of the plan or did it just sort of happen as you were going?
Yeah, I mean, I think going into the race, my preparation had gone really well, and I mean, I was quite confident kind of with my background in 100 milers and then also doing multi-day adventure projects that I had a good chance to have a strong race. But I mean, starting the race, I mean, actually, basically for the entire race, I really just focused on running my own race and didn't kind of focus too much on the runners around me, just because like 250 miles, I think it was 407 k's, is
Mm.
such a long way. You just kind of I couldn't wrap my head around actually trying to start racing people at the same time. And I also just realized, like, if I run my own race and kind of run strong and smart, I'll probably end up doing pretty well. And yeah, lucky for me that that happened.
And I mean, psychology wise, you prepared for, I mean, the first 50Ks we spoke about it, you had to carry 4 liters of water. You were expecting desert temperatures. Um, it, and then on the day of the race, sort of everything went out the window. And for, I mean, the first 90 kilometers, you were basically just running in cold weather, nothing compared to what you trained for. Did that sort of, I mean, obviously you've run in every sort of terrain, every sort of temperature, but did it sort of mess with your mind a little bit that you'd done this like focus prep on this first part of the race and then everything just changed on the day?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I think having like hot conditions, the normal conditions would have definitely been more beneficial for me. But I mean, we kind of all competitors had to run in the same conditions. So, I mean, I didn't really let that phase me too much. You have to plan for everything. And to be honest, I thought the cooler weather on day one would speed up the race, which day one was definitely quicker. But then from
Hmm.
that first night onwards, it got a lot more slow moving, just with the thick mud and tough conditions. I mean, like running through some of the mud, it's like running with ankle weights on, just because the mud all cakes to your shoes. You're kind of constantly sliding all over the place. So that definitely slowed things down, even for me. There's a muscle behind your knee that starts with a P. I can never remember it, but that got
Oh God.
inflamed
Yeah.
from the mud, like lifting up the heavy mud, and then your lymph um, glands actually run behind it and go down into your calf and your foot. But they actually, because that muscle got inflamed, that lymph glands got compressed, or they couldn't work properly, and hence my right calf started to swell up, and my foot, especially after the race. So I mean the cold weather definitely added, or kind of made it more challenging. I was hoping also to do one or two kind of short power naps on the side of the trail, which due to the weather wasn't possible. So ended up only getting 5 hours of sleep throughout the race. I struggled
Yes,
to actually sleep once I got into an aid station, and I saw my crew, kind of your mood lifts and you kind of don't really feel like
you,
sleeping then.
yes.
I mean, those were, yeah, definitely kind of challenges for me. But yeah, I mean, I think all in all, we all had to kind of face the same conditions, and yeah, it's kind of part of trail running.
On the sleep thing, I mean, we spoke about before that you'd almost trained yourself to have the 10-minute naps and you were quite confident and then
Yes.
it didn't go to plan. I think one of my favorite photos, and I think it's also a video coming out, is you literally lying in the car with a burrito and having a nap there. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, I think was it an underestimation on your part how hard it would be to just like get that full 10 minutes sleep, like in the race conditions?
Yeah, I mean, as I think kind of definitely coming out of the race, and even chatting to Jeff Browning, who came second last year. I mean, before the race, we spent a bit of time together, and he was
Mm,
laughing. He said, you'll see, like, once you run a 200 mile, you want to do another one because there's so many areas where you can improve, and it's kind of constantly about putting the puzzle pieces together. So definitely, like, a big takeout from me from the race is that I think I can improve by improving my sleep and working on that.
hmm
Definitely, my strategy of kind of going into kind of a crew point and sleeping there didn't work as well as what I would have liked it to have. So I mean, it's something I need to relook the timing, but it is tricky because I mean, you're out in the trails and you're so tired, and then all of a sudden you kind of come into an aid station and there's a bit more hype and there are people around and you see your crew. And I mean, for me, like mentally, it was a really big deal to see my
mm,
crew each time. I really kind of broke the race down into kind of smaller chunks, and it was just about kind of getting from one aid station to the next. So I mean, seeing my crew, my spirits definitely lifted, and obviously, as I mentioned, then it wasn't as conducive to sleep.
mm.
So yeah, definitely something I need to look at. I think like the duration is still. I mean, I think kind of having a 10 to 15 minute power nap is still the kind of what works best for me. It's just trying to figure out kind of how to do that.
Where?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think Dan Green who won, I think at one point he took half an hour nap. Um, in one of his, and I think that's actually where you passed him and went to first place. Do you think possibly like going for that longer period? I mean, you're still probably only going to get 10 to 15 minutes like proper sleep, but going for slightly longer pays off in the long run.
100%. I mean, I know from some of the multi-day projects I've done, like just having a 5 minutes like power nap, and it kind of just gives you that reset. I mean, you move so much quicker and efficiently afterwards. So I mean, definitely going into that second night, just before the second night coming out of Sedona, there was a big storm and I got very cold. I took too long to put my rain jacket on, and was
Hmm
pretty close to getting hypothermia. It was like shivering uncontrollably, and realized that kind of the only way out was just to try and run as fast as I could and get to the next aid station. So I was literally just putting my head down for 8Ks and running to keep warm. But coming into that aid station, I was there for quite a while trying to warm up and regroup, and that was going into the second night. And then after that, there was a long section that I would do on my own without a pacer. And in training, I'd recce that section, and it was actually quite a fast and runnable section. But because
hmm
of all the mud, it ended up being very slow. And I think like mentally, I lost a lot of momentum there. And then also started to see things. We were kind of going through the forest, and I could see like people hanging from trees, and then actually kind of some of the trees were looking like animals. There were a couple of deer out there, and like when they looked at me, I actually thought they were lions. So I mean, but it's weird. Like you're seeing these things, but I know
Yeah.
that I'm seeing them because I'm tired. It's almost like I was telling myself like snap out of it. but you can still like see them. It's like weird. And then when you kind of get like a meter away, it looks or it's kind of looks normal again. So I yeah, lost momentum during that second night, and was quite tired. So I mean, I feel if my sleep was better there, I definitely kind of could have probably gone a bit quicker.
You speak about I don't want to say it's hallucinations, but essentially,
Mm,
your brain's playing tricks on you. But I mean, every athlete I've ever spoken to who's been in this situation talks about that. Is it like do you think it's worse that you were on your own, and when you're in that mental state, I mean, I can't imagine how scary that must be. You literally on your own in the middle of nowhere, and you coming, and I mean, you seeing lions, and at that time it's a real fear. Like, how did you mentally keep going? Did you just focus on the goal at the end, focus on the aid station, or do you go to like a deeper place within yourself just to like push that
yeah.
that barrier?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, it was like really important to me just to break the race down in bite-sized chunks. I mean, I never really thought about the finish until I kind of got right into Flagstaff. And I mean, for me, I did like a lot of mental work beforehand or visualization, and I really wanted to just try and be as present during the race as possible and just enjoy the experience. And I think for me it was really important, like how I frame things and my perspective. And I mean, I really wanted to see everything as like a new exciting challenge and adventure, and not kind of seeing it as a negative. So I focused, I mean, on that a lot. And for me, like kind of when I was going through those like bad patches of like losing momentum and kind of seeing things, I really just try to see it as a challenge and to try and like get through it. And I know that like with any challenge like that, like physically when you're not feeling great, it's so important to kind of stay in it mentally. So yeah, I think like I did pretty well at that. Like I mean, as I mentioned, I came close to getting hypothermia, and that second night
Mm.
was seeing things and getting very tired, and like definitely lost some momentum. But I felt I was able to keep that like general momentum. Like nothing really kind of completely threw me during the race. Even I mean, second half of the race, kind of my nutrition wasn't as great as the first half, but I mean, I still managed, and got through it. So I think it's just mentally just trying to stay as calm and relaxed as possible, and not overreact. But luckily for a lot of the sections, I did have a pacer, and that
Mm.
helped. And like I said, for me, it was massive. Like knowing that like cool, the aid station's 8 kilometers away or 12 kilometers away, and you're going to see your crew and familiar faces. I mean, that was
And
really,
and your crew was jacked. Like, I mean, we watched you on the live feed. We saw all the interviews, but I mean, you got in there. The a bowl of whatever you were eating was like
the
immediately
mashed
put in your
potatoes.
hand. Yes, the mashed potatoes. I mean, you sat down, and they were just like it is. I can only relate it to like a Formula One, car coming in, and it was so
Yeah,
organized. And I mean, it was a big focus of the live feed. I think they said you were probably one of the most organized teams en route. It
yeah,
was incredible. And I know Reino planned everything like military
yes.
precision.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, I think Reina was like a huge help on that, and also just managing the team. I mean, to be honest, going into the race, I was hoping to go through the aid stations a bit quicker, but just with the weather, like often had gear changes or change shoes a
mm,
lot more. And also, I mean, I was speaking to the Salomon high performance coach, Aitor, and I just said like I actually taking a bit longer in the aid stations was actually really important for me mentally, just to switch off a bit from kind of being out there and running. It was nice to see people, have a bit of an interaction, and just like mentally just be able to switch off for a bit. So yeah, I mean, I think as I say, probably could have gone through some of the aid stations a bit quicker. But I mean, I think looking at the bigger picture, it went pretty well.
And you changed, I think it was your shirt. Every time you came into an aid station, you put a new shirt on. I don't know that you changed shoes every time. Well, obviously with the
Yeah.
mud and stuff. But I mean, it was like they were commenting on that on the live feeds. And was it just because of the cold and wet that you just wanted something warm and dry when you
Yeah,
got in there?
shirts, I'm trying to think. I mean, I think like for most of the first day, I think I had the same shirt on. Definitely, kind of the night stretches when it rained and stuff. I changed shirts quite a bit, and then that second day I changed once or twice. So I mean, yeah, it's just to try and be as comfortable as possible. Just being my first 250-mile race, I wanted to try and kind of minimize kind of the things I could control going wrong, like chafe or just being uncomfortable or too hot or cold. And then shoes, I changed quite a few times, more so than what I initially planned. But again, just with having wet shoes and socks, I just wanted to be careful not to
Mm.
get blisters too early on, or again, just really control what I could control and just take a bit of extra time and look after myself because it was such a long way.
And you spoke earlier, I mean, you had the whole recce, you had a couple of recce runs with Jeff Browning. He came second last year. I mean, it was devastating, lost the race literally in the last 6 miles, I think it was. But his knowledge of Cocodona, how did that impact your race experience, knowing that you had like that knowledge from him behind you?
Yeah, I mean, Jeff's insights and kind of just his openness to share with me was super helpful. Really gave me like a lot of extra confidence going into the race, but also just gave me a good like understanding of the race. I mean, that was super helpful. Also getting out there but early and like wrecking some of the course. Rena joined me out there quite early as well. So I mean that was a huge help as well. So yeah, I mean I definitely feel like a race like this you kind of need to do your homework, just because it's such a long way.
And what was the best piece of advice that Jeff gave you going into the race?
Beth, I'm trying to remember now. It's all kind of blurred into one. I mean, geez, I think there were like a lot of points. I mean, I think Jeff's quite similar to Rainer in terms that he's like very organized and plans and also like a lot of spreadsheets. So, I mean, he gave me a lot of insight into kind of how much water he took at various points on the route and kind of where he used poles and where he'd kind of changed shoes and stuff. So just having that knowledge was really beneficial. Unfortunately, I kind of didn't get that hot, so like
Mm.
kind of the water estimations didn't matter. But I mean, it definitely yeah. I think just yeah. I mean, there was kind of he gave me so much insight. It was yeah super beneficial.
And you ran a lot with Lucy as your pacer. Did she do a lot for your, I mean, how important is it to have the right pacer on these sections? I mean, they must do a lot for your psyche out on the race itself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think paces are really important to have, but at the same time, having the right pacer is important because I think when you're out there and you're kind of running so far, you really go into your like own personal space. So essentially, like having someone join you, they're almost like joining you in your space, in your zone. So for me, it was really important to have the right people, and I mean Lucy, yeah, I mean, she's been in the Salomon team for a very long time. I mean, we know each other really well. So I mean, having her out there was really awesome. And I mean, she's just yeah, kind of got so much energy and so bubbly. So I mean, that really helped. And I mean, even that last stretch. I mean, you mentioned where I was kind of lying eating a burrito or kind of half past out getting a massage. That was just before the last stretch because my calf had really started to kind of swell
Mm.
up. I was actually starting to go into the back of my hamstring. So I was like, flip, don't tell me I'm about to like tear a hamstring, and I still had like 30 odd kilometers to go, and it was going up Alden Mountain, which is quite a big climb, and then quite a steep section down. And then to make matters worse, it was kind of snowing up
Knowing.
top of Mount Alden, so it was going to be a tricky section. So just like Lucy kind of kind of pushed me quite hard getting up the mountain, but I was glad as well because it was a second storm coming, so just really trying to like avoid that. Luckily, we managed to
Mm.
kind of summit just before that. But I mean, yeah, Lucy was incredible. Like with all my paces, I mean, Reino paced me for a couple of sections. Christian Meyer again, and he's in the Salomon International team with me. He comes from a pro cycling background,
Okay.
but again, like I've gotten to know him really well over the past couple of years. So again, just having people like him was really beneficial. And then also Matt was my other pacer. He's actually works at Salomon at HQ. He does a lot of like the service for athletes. So over the years, I've gotten to know him really well. And I mean, for me, it was also really cool to have him part of the experience because I mean, essentially service to athletes. He's kind of done so much for me in the past to actually kind of have him part of the whole experience was
Mm.
really cool. So I think, like I said, after the race, I really felt kind of it was a collective effort. And I mean, I think like looking back in a couple years time, like it's not going to be so much about the race or coming second or doing 61 hours. It'll be about kind of the whole team working together and just the collective experience, which will be kind of I think the highlight for me.
It's a special experience going through something like that as a team. I don't think you can adequately explain it to someone how deep it goes as a team in those moments. Um, how how was it coming when you'd finished and coming out and almost bringing yourself back to reality? That process of realizing what you'd done, what you'd achieved. What would you say were the biggest feelings that you had? Not obviously crossing the finish line, I can imagine
Yeah.
that, but the biggest the feelings and the process of coming out of that in the next 24 hours after you finished.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like I was pretty shattered, quite exhausted. But I mean, I think just really content. I think even
Hmm.
now, I've tried to be like as present and just enjoy the moment. I mean, I feel like in the past, often do a big race and like straight away the next day, okay, cool. Like what's next? And you're so focused on the next thing, you're not actually present and just kind of enjoying the moment. So for me, I'm trying to be as present as possible. And also, I mean, it was an epic experience, but also really intense. Like I feel like I still
Mm.
got to like actually process it all and kind of just kind of make sense of it all. So I mean, currently kind of still kind of feeling pretty present. Don't have any like major plans like for what's next. I mean, I've got ideas, but I haven't committed to anything, and just kind of focusing on recovery and giving my body time to rest. But I mean, I guess going back to the question, I think for me it was just like, I mean, just being content, but also I guess proud of my performance. I mean, I put a lot into training for the race, but I mean, probably the biggest takeout from the race for me is, and I've said it a few times, that like I almost felt last year that things were quite stagnant from me from a racing point of view. I mean, I ran UTMB last year, but it's almost like I felt like that it was what I should do and kind of what people wanted me to do, and I felt like I had like still had the UTMB monkey on my back and kind of wanted to kind of do UTMB again. But I think actually entering Cocodona, something new and fresh, something that really excited me and kind of motivated me and got me like super stoked on trail running again, was so important for me. Just I mean, just the training leading up to Cocodona was tough, and I mean, I had lots of long days of training, but I really overall like enjoyed the whole experience. and the same goes for the race. Just yeah, I mean, in many ways, it felt like the first time I kind of ran an ultra. It was just such a new, exciting experience, and I mean, I think that's really got me kind of left me feeling like really excited about the sport and feeling like cool. There's like still more I want to achieve, and yeah, I'm kind of pretty excited about the future.
So, I mean, before Cocodona came around, you were still running, you were still doing well, but it sort of all just became, matter of fact. You'd done it. It wasn't really exciting. If you could tell, like, if you could look back at 18-year-old, like 18 years ago when you first started, and you would have told yourself that 18 years into your career, you would completely reinvent yourself and go after something completely new. I mean, what do you think that self would have told you if you could go back
Yeah.
in time? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to be honest, like when I first started trail running, I kind of reinvented myself in a way. And I mean, throughout my career, I mean, I think the reason for being in the sport for 18 years is because I've mixed it up a lot. I mean, from doing like multi-day desert races, more adventure style, to
Mm,
100K like faster races, and then to doing more like mountainous 100 milers, and then also on top of that doing like projects and FKT attempts. I feel like, I mean, I've really kept things exciting and new and fresh. um, as I say, maybe kind of last year was kind of just yeah, one too many goes at UTMB. um, so sorry.
no problem.
So yeah, just yeah, I guess yeah, probably just to kind of keep things exciting, new, and fresh, and also just follow your heart and kind of what your passion is. I think is so important. I mean, I always say like I've achieved success because like I've been so passionate about what I've being doing. I mean, I feel like if you kind of not passionate about what you do and you kind of stagnant in something, it's really hard to achieve in that.
And I mean, the last section, I would say probably the last 30 miles. I mean, you did take the lead from Dan for a section. I think it was overnight when, he was resting and you carried on. When you were in the lead, was there ever that moment where you thought, maybe I can win this? And or was it always just about, this is my race, I'm just going to carry on?
Yeah, I mean, when I took the lead, he did come past me again, and he looked like he was burning way too many matches, and he kind of
Mm,
came sprinting past me, and then just before coming back into Sedona, I could see him just ahead, and he actually hadn't made much of a gap on me, and we were actually at that Sedona aid station together.
mm,
And to be honest, I thought I would kind of catch him. I think he left like a minute or two before me, and I actually took my
mm,
time in there and thought I would catch him going up out of Sedona. Um, and then I mentioned like I actually got really cold, and I felt I lost momentum that night, and never saw him again. But I
mm.
mean, as I say, I did try focus on kind of me, but at the same time, I mean, I did feel like I had a shot of well, I mean, I was quite confident that I would pass him again. But I think kind of yeah, the latter stages of that second night, he started to put in more of a gap into me, and yeah, I realized that. Well, I mean, I think I think it was about 40 Ks to go. He had about an hour and a half.
Yes.
Me or saying so. I mean, I realized it was going to be pretty tough to make that up, but I also know that anything can happen out there. I mean, look at Jeff last year, having such a big lead, and I think he got
Yeah.
past with like 3 miles to go. So I mean, that was always at the back of my mind, but at the same time, by that point, I was so tired and so fatigued. It was just like flip, kind of just do whatever you can do to get to the finish line.
And just a question, I mean, you when you came over the finish line, you were really puffy. I mean, in the days after you showed how
Yeah.
swollen your feet were, um, did you expect your body to react like it did? Was it hard to take on food? Was it hard to take on nutrition? I mean, I'm talking about the last day particularly because I think that's
Yes.
when your body sort of, wants to stop and is like fighting you with everything.
Yeah.
Just give me a little bit in that experience.
Yeah, to be honest, like I felt I was moving pretty well and like efficiently up until about 40 kilometers to go. And then it was that second last aid station where I could feel like my calf wasn't
Mm,
great and kind of things were starting to like I was starting to get tired. Nutrition wise, I mean, as I said, I definitely like that's another thing I would relook, and I think there are a lot of improvements I could make on my nutrition. But I was still able to get a decent amount of nutrition in. Like never once did
mm,
my like stomach completely shut down. So I mean I feel that wasn't like too bad, and I guess it is like 61 hours. So I mean, there's only so much your body can handle. So that
mm.
was all good. But yeah, definitely from like 40 Ks onwards, I could feel like my movement kind of wasn't as good, and kind of climbing up Mount Eldon or Eldon Mountain, I could feel things deteriorate, and especially going down the other side of Mount Eldon is quite like a steep descent, and I mean that then things started to feel um, like everything was sore. And then once you get down to the bottom of Mount Eldon, it's another, I think, 5 miles, like 8 Ks
Mm.
to the finish. And I mean, I could feel then that definitely kind of, wouldn't say things were shutting down, but definitely my body wasn't as happy. And I was like, like with 3 Ks to go, I was almost getting quite like panicky about getting to the finish line. My chest started to get like really tight. Coming into Flagstaff, all the parked cars looked like they were rolling back at me. So I was starting to
Yeah,
see things. I was just like, kind of, this has got to be over now. So yeah, I think things deteriorated quite a bit that kind of last couple of hours. Um, and then, as you say, I was retaining a lot of water. I don't like know exactly why. I mean, I think just my body was pretty
yeah,
fatigued and tired. People said like maybe your electrolyte balance was a bit out. Didn't feel like that, but maybe. I mean, I was leaning quite heavily at the finish line. I saw from a video, and then even kind of walking back to the car from the finish, like it was, I kind of almost, I was very like lopsided. I was almost like I couldn't hold myself up.
yeah.
So that, and then as I say, afterwards my right leg or calf and foot swelled up a lot, but that was just purely like the lymph nodes not being able to work properly. And then traveling. I mean, I was still in Flagstaff for like 3 days after the race, and then I traveled for 2 days. So like day 4 and 5, I traveled, and I got to Heathrow, and my foot was very very swollen. I was worried it looked
Yes.
like a balloon. I thought my foot was actually gonna explode. I'd like kind of push in, and my finger would just go in, and like the indentation would stay in my
Oh,
in my
wow.
skin. But yeah, as soon as I got home and I got my foot up, it drained pretty quickly. But yeah, I mean, it definitely took its toll on me. I mean, now I feel, I mean, I haven't done any runs really, but I feel like my body's moving pretty well. Everything's cleared up. I've got a little bit of tightness still behind my right knee, but everything else feels okay. So I'm pretty happy. I think it's more
Okay.
just kind of mentally, I've got to give myself time to recover. But I also just think that like deeper fatigue in my kind of body is definitely, I mean, still there. So I'm definitely not kind of rushing back into anything. I mean, it was a long way to run, and I think it's important to respect the distance.
And that first sleep after you finished, did you just like sleep like the dead? Like, did you just pass out and
No, unfortunately not. I mean, I actually got back to the Airbnb we were at, and actually like lay on the bed. I was like so out of it. Actually fell asleep quickly for like 30 minutes, and then Raina woke me up and said, "Do you want a shower?" And then I was just like, no ways. Like, I mean, so I couldn't, I was just too tired to shower or kind of clean up. So I literally just kind of lay there for that first night, but I didn't sleep well at all. I was kind of sore, tossing and turning.
Yes.
I think the adrenaline, and then also actually, as I mentioned, my chest was quite like tight. I think from all the dust. So I actually kind of slept sitting upright because I kept kind of having these like coughing fits. Luckily, when I woke up the next day it all cleared, but yeah, sleep wasn't great. I mean, for those first 2 nights I didn't sleep that well, and then the third night I had a good night's sleep, and then it was kind of 2 days of travel, and then kind of been back in
Mm.
South Africa with jet lag. So I feel like I've still got to get into a proper sleeping pattern.
And you were there for when the last runner came over
Yes.
the finish line. I mean, knowing what you went through and then knowing what they went through, I mean, what was that moment like watching the last runner come over?
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible to see. It was like, yeah, the three last runners. I mean, yeah, they'd been out there for over 5 days. I mean, you've got the
Yeah.
utmost respect that they kind of, yeah, kind of put themselves out there for so long, and kind of, yeah, experience what I experienced, but just for a longer period. So I mean, as I say, I always say, like, I've kind of got more respect for the back markers than the guys at front, but and the runners in front. But yeah, it was really cool to see. I mean, it was quite emotional. There were a lot of people out there. It was a Saturday morning, so yeah, I mean, it was really cool to see and to witness.
But I think races like Cocodona are more like a family experience than anything else. You sort of like come into this community and you're part of the community for the rest of your life.
For
That
sure.
what was it like that? Is it like that experience?
For sure. I mean, I think for me, being a Cocodona is really, again, like a breath of fresh air. Just in terms of, yeah, it is a kind of like just Jamil, the race director. I mean, he's created something really special, and I mean, he's put his heart and soul into the race, and it's a real community event. But he also does like an incredible job of kind of broadcasting the event and the live
Mm.
tracking. And I mean, all the runners have an amazing experience. And I mean, nothing against like UTMB or anything like that, but it's like such a big event. It's quite, I mean, it's grown so much, and I mean, it's great for the sport, but it feels like quite an impersonal experience in some ways, where Cocodona is such a personal experience. And I mean, that's
Mm.
something that I love about the sport. So I mean, I really enjoyed that, and like you say, once you do Cocodona once or experience it, you feel you're part of the family, and I mean, that's really cool. And I think also, I thought was quite interesting, and why I think the event is so appeals to so many people, because I mean, due to permit restrictions, they can only have 250 or 300 runners, but I mean, they have like a waiting list of like 3 or 4 thousand people. Like, a lot of
Oh,
people.
really?
I know Jamil's a bit concerned moving forward. Like, he thinks possibly going to have like a lottery to get into Cocodona, just because it's becoming so popular. And I think for people, it's almost like, I think a lot of people that trail run, they love the whole adventure experience. And I think Cocodona is just that. It's really like uh, and kind of a planned adventure in terms of, you've got aid stations out there at the back markers. I mean, you go through towns and you can book hotels if you want to like sleep for 3 or 4 hours. So you can really kind of have it as like this week-long adventure, which I
Hmm.
think is so cool, and why it appeals to so many runners. And yeah, like you said, just yeah, just what an incredible experience.
And would you do it again?
Yeah, I think definitely not next year, but I think maybe like the year after. I mean, I feel if I did it next year, you almost need to start kind of training now already. I mean, I
Mm.
think I realized from doing Cocodona, as I mentioned, I think for me it's important to keep things fresh and new and exciting. And I felt like if I kind of rush back into Cocodona, more because like I felt it's the thing to do, not necessarily like what really excites me.
Mm.
But I think I'm pretty keen to go back in 2027, maybe give it a year's break. But yeah, I mean, as I say, just the whole experience and stuff was really incredible. I'd love to experience it again, and then also hopefully experience it in hotter conditions.
And I mean, you obviously made no plans or something, but having done a 250 miler, is your perspective changed? Do you think possibly going forward you might look at the longer distance races and pushing yourself, in that direction, or, is it all just undecided?
I mean, I think it's important to mix it up a bit in terms of. I mean, I feel like if you want to kind of compete for the win at a 200 miler, like mentally you need to be like super switched on and kind of have a very strong why. And I mean, kind of I burned so many matches running Cocodona. I feel that you can't do too many if you want to be super
Mm,
competitive. So I mean, I feel like it's important to not like overdo them. I know some guys do like 2 or 3 in a year. I feel that's too many for me. So I mean, yeah, I'd really like to kind of give it a bit of a break, and yeah, maybe give it a year's break or see. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to run the Hard Rock 100 miler in Colorado, but that's really difficult to get into. But I don't have a qualifying race for the lottery, so if I do want to run that next year, I need to do a qualifying race before the end of the year. So I'll possibly look at that, and then also, yeah, I mean, there's still like a number of kind of project FKT ideas. I've got, so yeah, I might look at something like that. So yeah, no kind of hard and fast plans, but I definitely feel like, I mean, the 200 milers are epic, but I think it's important to spread them out a bit. I feel like, I
mm.
mean, if I did 2 or 3 in a or kind of like 2 in a year, I'd completely kind of just kind of burn all my matches.
Personally, I think one in a lifetime is insane because it's just so far. But I mean, like, I couldn't even imagine doing two of those. But I think the biggest thing is that it was such an incredible experience watching the race. I can't imagine the experience of being part of the race, and just from our side, like, such a big well done.
Thanks
I
so much.
knew it was going to be like a tough race going against probably some of the best in the world, and you just shone like so wow. I was honestly so impressed. It was incredible to watch. And
Oh,
I don't think
thanks so
people
much.
fully understand how incredible it was. But our Facebook page was full of people cheering you
Oh,
on and
awesome.
and
Thanks.
going. So I think you've done something very special, and I think we're very excited to see what's next in the Ryan Sands career.
Awesome. Yeah. No, thanks so much. And I mean, yeah, I mean, just yeah, big thank you to Modern Athlete, and then also the yeah, everyone back home in South Africa. Like all the support and stuff has been incredible. Like as I said, it was really cool to have my crew out there, and I mean, I was out there running on my own a lot, but definitely felt like I had a lot of support. So I mean, I was out there running alone, but I definitely didn't feel alone. So yeah, it was really cool to have all the support. So thank you.
No, pleasure. And yeah, please keep us updated. And when you're planning the next big adventure, we will be there, covering
Yeah,
as best we
thanks.
can. But yeah, well done. And cheers to you with the,
Thanks so
you know,
much.
I'm sure you're allowed to have a beer now.
Yeah,
Just relax a
exactly.
bit. But yeah, that
Thanks so
was
much.
chatting to Ryan, and we'll chat to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks.